here in Oklahoma, where I live. This is the RM Cascadian. I am just pulling up hopefully my live stream here. Hopefully we're live. We should be live. Hopefully I'm not just talking to dead air right now. I do believe we are live. Here we go. So I am pulling up. Let me set up so I can watch chat here. Okay. Today. Now, I don't know. I think this will be a relatively quick stream. We're going to do a traditional Thai house today. Now, this is something to some extent I have done before. I've mentioned this on other videos that I had done some research of Thailand for like a build challenge, right? At one point a while ago. It's been a while. And so I have some idea of how their houses are built and the direction I want to go. We're going to start with a long rectangular box. Basically like this. That might be too long. I think that is too long, in fact. Let me see here. I need enough room that I can put exterior kind of porches on the outside. So I was thinking like 7 by 10, but that looks a little bit too square instead of rectangular. We definitely need a rectangular structure. Now, I will say this. I know that I want to have room for a bedroom. Kind of like this, right? Maybe, yeah, kind of like that. And then a bathroom. So maybe even 5. So 5 squares wide, 10 squares long. That seems okay. That seems all right. Now, the thing with Thai building, traditional Thai building, but even Thai building still today, is that typically, I'm going to move this over real quick. Typically, they're built on stilts. For monsoon season, when you get a lot of rain, there's a lot of flooding. And so you will find a lot of their builds on stilts. And I mean pretty high up. In fact, let's go here. Let's move our sim here over here for the moment. I don't want to get him too close. I might have to move him back out of the way. What I want is for this house to be just high enough, right? Just high enough that a sim could walk underneath it. So let me take a look at him. It could be a little bit higher. Because in reality, that's the way it would be built in Thailand. It would be big enough for a human being to walk underneath the structure. It would be built on stilts, of course, needless to say. And I've been having a little trouble with the stilts. Let's see here. There we go. And you could park your car under there, store stuff under there, things like that. Now, I don't know what you do with, I've read that a lot, and I've even seen pictures where they have stuff under here. I have no idea what you do when it does flood, because your car will definitely flood. If you have farm equipment under there, most of the time that's not supposed to get wet, right? But for now, we've got a basic structure. We're going to go with that. We got our boxes on stilts. It has 2 rooms, well, 3 rooms in it. I really want someplace bigger, but right now this is a 20 by 15 lot. We can pretty much count on 20 by 15 lots, right? We can count that will fit in the new pack. Whatever the new world may be like, that will fit. Let's throw in some windows real quick here. I'm thinking something kind of like these. Maybe like that. I think something kind of along those lines there. And then here on the back, let's put in some windows. Ah. We'll turn on one of our cheats here. I'm going to fix that a little bit. I don't really want the wall to intersect the window, but I mean, looking at this, that could be kind of difficult because the windows all fall on the intersection point for the wall, right? For this wall and this. So, we could take the wall out. Actually, this is going to be a bedroom and a bath. So that would make it a bit of an ensuite bath. And then you could enter also from this side. If you were a guest at the house, we could use a front door. I'm going to fall back on the front door from the Snowy Escape pack. If I see it here, let's see, there it is. I'm hoping to swap pretty much most of this stuff out when the new pack arrives, because there should be a great deal of new stuff in there to use. But for now, we're going to fall back on what we actually do have right now in game. So just this, we're going to use Solani, island living paint on the structure. Both inside and out, we're going to use the same stuff. And then we're going to put a roof on this thing. Now, the roof is going to come in essentially 3 parts. We're going to have a peaked roof. It's going to kind of bend in a little bit. Not in the exact way that roofs bend in Thailand. Let me say that right off the bat. It's going to be the best we can accomplish with the Sims as it stands. But we'll have that. We'll have another roof that will help complete the look of this upper roof. And then we're going to have a third roof that actually extends out from the structure and acts as a sunscreen for the building. So you have a somewhat lower roof from the main roof, sticks way out, covers part of a porch, covers the windows, acts as a sunscreen, also acts, though, as an additional weather barrier for when there are monsoon rains, helps funnel that rain water away from the main structure. So we're going to start with this. We're going to grab this roof here. We'll pull it over. And I think right off the bat, let's move it in a little bit, like so. Bring it like this. I do want it to come out all the way, but I want kind of a deep overhang on it because that is a little more traditional. And then, let's see here. We're going to give that a little bit of a bend, like so. We're going to lower this down. Let's pull it out a little bit more. Okay, so this is kind of the front of our roof there. It looks pretty good. It's not too bad. Then we're going to need some of these side pieces. We'll bring them down. Let's make sure they intersect here. Okay, so there's basically that side, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take a copy of this. We'll move it over here onto this side. Now, in order to have a roof that's going to sit down a little bit lower, we're going to have to build a platform out here, right? Something that does not intersect that particular roof. So let's move it out here. And we're going to have it be just a little bit below the existing structure. I think that'll do it. I may have to lower it down a little bit more. I'm going to draw it out here. This will form, our porch for this particular build. Now, let me see if I've got that too close. Ooh, I do have it too close. So, hold on just a second here. There we go. We'll back that up. We could maybe, can we bring that in further? Like that, yeah, and then maybe extend it that way. I don't know though. I'm not sure that's actually going to. I'm not sure that's going to work. The way it looks here looks a little wonky. We can bring it up like so. Let's switch it back to what I did have. Let's switch it back. My thought was originally to have this particular stretch be within one tile of this build, right? But I don't think I'm going to be able to manage that. I think it's going to have to be 2 tiles away from the build. So we'll see if that works. Now, I know I've done something along these lines before. It's not really coming back to me, but I would swear that I built the platforms a little bit closer to each other. That's what I would think. But for now, let's do it like this. And then once I have the roof on, I can kind of tinker around with it and see what we can come up with. Maybe, you know what I could do? Let's see here. I wonder if I can bring it. I could bring this structure out a little bit further. Okay, like that. Yeah, maybe I could do that. Maybe that's why I feel like it was closer before when I built it. this sort of house. It's been a long time, though. It has been a long, long time. I have not done a challenge, let alone a challenge like this, in a very long time. So let's see here. We'll bring that up, and then we'll get to work here on our other roof line that needs to intersect this one. Do. Let's see. I think that is going to be, though, on the same... It can't be on the same plane, though. My thought is it's going to be on the same plane as this other roof, but that can't be the case. They wouldn't intersect that way. Let's see here. There we go. I did drop this one more spot. And I think that's going to give me the look I want here, where it appears like this is sitting a little bit lower. And then we'll bring that back like that. Let me take a look here. That isn't exactly what I want there. Let's see. Let's try moving it back up one. Will that do it? That's a little bit closer. It is still a little kind of wonky here. Let me try. I did move that down one. Let's move it down two and see if that gives me more of the effect I have in my head. Kind of the effect I have in my memory, of what I was going for with this particular build. We may just reach a point where I call it good for now. I don't want to spend all day wrestling with this roof. Especially since I know I could just pull that old... Now that I think about it, I'm thinking I could just pull that old build, and then whatever I did, right, I would be able to replicate here without any trouble. Let's see here. Let's leave it like that for now. We're going to get kind of an idea of where we're going. Because I have an idea, that when I built this before, I didn't do this, and we didn't have the tool mod, so There wasn't a way for me to do it, but there is when you have a house like this, a traditional Thai house of this fashion, right? Typically with these overhangs, you have posts that come out from the side of the house to help add support to them, right? So at the time, I actually couldn't come up with anything to do that for that particular challenge. But now with the tool mod, I think we should be able to do it without any problem at all. Let's see if I throw on some of this stuff. Does that help? Let's try it for now, and then this will drag down. Oh, we won't. Now, I think I'm going to bring this out here. Let's bring this here. Or not. Maybe not. Let's go back to here. Okay. Yeah, because we do want it to intersect our roof there. You know, now that I look at this with that red, I didn't really intend this when I set out. But that does look a little bit like a Pizza Hut. Like a really old-fashioned Pizza Hut. Except, I'm trying to remember, were they red? I think they were red. But like when I was a kid, when I was like a little kid, you had Pizza Huts with roofs like this. And I think they were red with a green roof or something. I don't know. Okay, let's not worry about that. Let's grab this here. Okay, so we're getting there a little bit. I don't love this black line. I feel like there's something I'm not remembering correctly from when I did these particular roofs before. It may come to me as I continue building here. We'll see. But at the moment, I'm thinking, it looks okay, but it isn't exactly as I remember it. It's kind of like I remember it. This here is really throwing me a little bit for a loop. Because that does feel off. Like, I feel like it should be more like that. That's looking a little bit closer. Actually, maybe even a lot closer. That's really weird, though. I don't think I would have left the roof like that. Okay, so that's coming along. It's coming along a little bit. It's coming along a little bit. I think that this part is correct. Pretty correct. Looks pretty good. This, I don't know what I did. What have I done here? I don't know. This, of course, I brought in. This I brought in, right? Probably bring that in like that. Maybe if I got that too wide, maybe. Well, it's not like that, that's for sure. Let's see here. That's getting closer. That's weird. I wonder. Can I do that? That kind of helps a little bit. Where is that kind of wonky black line coming from? I don't know. See, I've got that kind of black line there. Which part of this build is that? Let's move this back here. Let's take that off. We'll grab this end and we'll copy it and we'll bring it down here. Because I think I like that this end over here, like this end, I like that better than this end. So let's put it down here. See if that helps a little bit. And it does help a little bit, right? And we'll pull that out. Okay, so it is starting to come along. This is starting to get a little bit better. It's starting to get a little bit better here. I do feel like it's kind of close. I wish I could figure out what. Let me just move this. What am I seeing here? What is that? What is that? Is that that? Is that what that is? And if I bring it all the way down, will that? No, that doesn't work. So let's take it as far down as we can. Whoops. Let's move this back over here, I guess. Screw it. Let's do this. That. Okay, so we've kind of got a roof that looks like that. It is okay. Oh, hey, Emma Vane. That is actually what I'm trying to do. I don't know how long ago you wrote that. I was really caught up in this whole roof thing here. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. I've got several different pieces here, and I have done this sort of roof before, but it's been a really long time since I've done it. And so I am wrestling with it ever so slightly here, trying to get it to the point, that I kind of remember, right? Ooh, that's not too bad. That's pretty close right there. Maybe, well, eventually I'm just going to settle on that wherever it is where it is for now. I was thinking earlier, I could just go and get the build. I did a build for a challenge a long time ago. It had a roof like this. I could just get that build and then kind of, go back through it and figure out what did I do? What did I do there that I need to do here to make this work, right? I'm going to take those chunks out. Let's copy this and we'll bring it over here. Roofs are always, one of the most frustrating parts of The Sims. I feel like, at least for me, I find them very frustrating. Other people may not. Other people may have more luck with it than I do. but I definitely, feel some frustration sometimes trying to get a roof to work the way I see it work, like in real life, Now, this is coming along. That looks pretty close to what I remember. It's just not exact. And I know this is a little wonky over here. I definitely know that. But I think for now it's going to be okay. And we're going to look at doing the struts to hold up the roof kind of overhang. And call that good. That's kind of a mess over here, though. Let me fix this real quick. That's a little bit better. A little bit better. Okay, so we're going to go with that. We're going to call it okay for the moment. And I think, you know what? Part of it might be maybe this was a little higher. That could have been part of it. Because it definitely was pretty steep. I bet that is part of it. That's probably part of why it doesn't quite look what I'm remembering, right? It doesn't quite go with what I'm seeing in my head. And you're probably right. I could probably get the same appearance with just two roof pieces, because I think I just did on the other side, I think. I set out, what can I say? At some point I did a version of that roof that I really, really liked, and that's in my head. And I thought, oh, no, I remember that. That wasn't too hard to do. I'm going to just do that. And then, of course, I got here and I can't remember what I did. Something close to what you see there is what I did, though. So it's probably good enough for now. My big hope is that when the new pack gets here, maybe we'll have some new roofing type style or something. I don't know. That's my hope. I haven't actually seen anything in the trailers to support that. That's why it's a hope. Because I haven't seen anything yet that would say, that yes, we have, a new sort of roofing style that'll more closely mimic Thai style. And the thing is, here, I'll show you, part of what I'm remembering is if I pull that down, in Thai roofing style, you do have kind of a roof sort of like that, right? So like this, and then this part, this roof, almost looks like it sits a little bit lower. And I'm wondering if maybe, I should lower that down and it really did sit kind of like this. And then maybe I brought that out like that, right? Because that is looking in some ways a little bit closer in my head to what the style was. And that's why I needed all these different roof pieces, because I needed this piece of roof and this piece of roof and all these different things in order to accomplish that. And you know what? I think I'm going to just do that. I'm going to lower these things down here a little bit. I'm going to just do that for the moment. I'm going to have to kind of take this over here. Let's do that. That's a little bit off. Let me see if I can adjust it ever so slightly there. Yeah, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. And then let's see here. How did I do this in? Okay, let me see here. I need this. Let's just take this piece and we'll move it down here, right? Like so. Okay, that's a little bit better. And then we're going to drop this down little bit there. So it matches up there. It's a little bit better. And we'll pull that back a bit there like so. Okay, so that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. I think that is definitely getting closer to what I had before, right? So that we had kind of a tie roof, and then we had this deep overhang. Bring that down maybe a little bit there, like so. We're going to stick with that for now. We're going to look at making the sort of support struts on the side of the building that hold up the roof overhang. This will be the next thing we're going to do here. Yeah, I hope there was. I am overcomplicating it. You're right. You're exactly right. And probably at some point I'll go through there and like scale things around, move things around and make it simpler, because I do agree with you. I am overcomplicating it. I'm very glad to hear there's no roof trims and like decor for the gable ends, especially. It's very in keeping with tie design, is to have those gable, here on the peaks and stuff, have those sort of design elements. So that is very good news. Super glad to hear that. Somehow I have missed it so far. I'm not real sure how, but I have missed it so far. I need to go through all the marketing we've gotten so far all over again. Take a look what we have. I think this is what I'm looking for. I think so. We're going to use these gold ones. And my thought is, of course, that maybe I do it here. Here, maybe. I'm definitely going to put one here. I'm going to put one here on each side of the doorway. And then kind of, though, where I really want to have the other one would be like right here, I think. So maybe we go ahead and move these windows down. Like so. I could even put another window in, I think. I think if I lived in Thailand, I'd want to have a lot of windows that open because it gets very humid, very muggy. So let's try that. Now, what we're going to do, and you could do these in different colors, I'm going to use this gold and just see how I feel about it. We're going to have to go in and use the tool mod. So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to scale these down. I'm going to try by about half. I want to try to keep this simple. I do want to try to keep this where the numbers are all like even numbers, not like 1.15, but 1, right? So I'm going to elevate that up. Hit the wrong button there. I'm going to elevate it up by 1 square, like so. And then we're gonna try rotating this, right? We're gonna try rotating it. Let me see here. Okay, we're gonna try rotating it 45 degrees. I might need to do a negative 45 degrees, but we're gonna try a positive first. No, that worked. Okay, so here's the idea. Here we go. That's a little bit high. It's a little bit above the roof. But still not bad. Let me see here. Oh, that's not too bad. Now that looks almost exactly, I think, like how I did it. So you have a slightly different angle of rise here on this part of the roof than this part of the roof. And then this deep overhang. I think that might be it. Anyway, let's take a look here. So then we've got the strut, right? We've got the strut here is going up into the roof. I might have to go ahead and put in like a square floor panel here, and we'll use the new roof, the new ceiling tiles, right? When we use the new ceiling tiles. But this is kind of the idea, so that it looks like we have these struts coming out to hold up that deep overhang for this particular roof. So let's go through and we're going to do these here. I have to go back into live mode. There is a way, and I admit I'm just too lazy or something to do it, I guess. There's a way that you can use Tool Mod. You can download like a separate mod and use it in build mode. I think there is. I'm almost positive. And I just have never done it. I've never done it. I didn't want to read the instructions. That sounds awful to say. I didn't want to read the instructions at the time on like what I needed to do. What happened with that one? Let me try reversing it. I didn't want to read, so it didn't happen. But I didn't reset the rotation, right? Let's see here. Let's change the axis of the rotation. There we go. There we are. Okay, so that one's out and in place. We're going to go ahead and do this next one. Scale it down in half, and then we'll lift it up by one spot, one grid square. Rotate it by 45 degrees. And voila. This gets a little tedious, of course, because there's a way again. Well, I don't know that I could easily do it. There's a way you can kind of form a box around stuff and shrink it all at once or lift it all at once. I could probably try to work that out with this. I'm not going to. I'm not going to today. But I do think there is a way you can do that, and I've done it sometimes with some stuff. But right now, let's rotate this object 45 degrees. Did that not work? Did that not work? How did that not work? That should have worked. Undo. Let's try this again. It must have. Maybe I hit the wrong thing and changed the axis again. There we go. That should be the correct axis there. So there we go. Okay, so we can see here, we've got our struts in place. So it looks a little bit more like a real authentic Thai house, right? Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, see, okay, so you can select multiple. Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can read this chat better because the chat's bleeding off the edge. You can select multiple at once, holding Alt. Okay. Better build by mod, which is awesome for building. I know that it organizes debug. I've actually have that better build by, at least a lot of the times I have it in. So that's what I need for a tool. As long as you have both tool works in, as long as you have both. Oh, okay. So if I had the better build by, then tool works in build. Okay, I didn't know that. I did have better build by, but I only had it for organizing, debug, and because before Maxis had patched in the kits as separate, right? And it was like every kit was there. As I recall, better build by would separate the kits for you, so I could more easily search for a particular kit, something like that. That's what I kind of remember from there. But so Shift T to open tool and better. Okay, I got to remember that. I don't have better build by in at the moment. So the last time I updated, I didn't put it back in because I was thinking, well, Maxis has updated the search feature, so I don't need it as much. But now I guess I kind of do. Okay, so we've got that. And let me go down here and take a look again. We need to put in some pieces of ceiling here so that we can see here. Mm-hmm. Come on. Should go on here. Okay, maybe like there. That's not exactly where I wanted it. Let's do that. And that, though. That'll work. That's good. That works. Put that there. Draw it around. We're going to do a square all the way around on this thing. Like so. And let's pull up some wood here. We'll use something like this. Something kind of old. Does this come in a kind of hues? Does it come in? That looks okay. So let's fill in some flooring first. We'll do flooring here. And then we're going to go ahead and put this here. Let's see what it looks like. It's a little bit better. And then we will fill in some of this stuff that we can see down under here. Like so. And we'll go ahead and we'll take let's go ahead and go with that jutting exterior trim. I hope and pray, I know it's probably not this expansion pack because they really are adding a lot of stuff to the game just with the current expansion pack, but I hope and pray that we get, paintable underneath the roof, right? Like rooftops. I hope we get that, or roof ceilings, whatever you want to call them. I would love that because yes, I could go through and I could take this floor. Let's try and reach it there to click on it. I don't think I can, but I could take the floor and pull it out that I just put under there, but then it sticks out past the roof and I don't really like that. So I'm not going to do that, but it would be nice if we could do the undersides of the roof. Now, I'm not really complaining right now because I do think the new pack totally has a lot of stuff in it. I'm super happy by it. And just being able to paint ceilings is a big plus. I don't know why I can't clone that. That's okay. We'll just grab it this way, put it on there. So we're going to put in that particular decking. Now, let's take a look and see what I can manage to do here. I really would like to either move this a little closer, and I don't know that I can without... Well, yeah, did that work? Okay, I was afraid it would disrupt the roof line and I end up losing part of my roof, but it does seem okay. So we're going to try that over here on the other side as well. And again, it seems okay. I don't think anything disappeared. So I think we're doing okay. Because I wanted that to be a little bit deeper. Now, this one, I don't think we can. Let's take a look here. And well, no, it is working too. That's weird. Well, originally I did think that I only had one square gap, right, between this outside deck and the house. I did think that. But when I tried doing it, when I first started doing this today, it caused the roof to disappear. So I thought, well, I must have done something differently. Okay, so let's put in We're going to put in some floor out here. We're going to put in some stairs. Let's grab some stairs, just something simple. Again, you know, I usually anticipate we're going to get new stairs, right? We're going to get new, all this different stuff. Pull this across here. And then one thing we can do if we want is we can make this, you know, wider out this way as well in some fashion. So we have enough room out there to have a true sort of family gathering area. And we're going to need some sort of stairs up to this structure. But did I just throw off? I think I did. I think I threw off my bracing there. What did I do? How did I do that? I don't know how I did. Well, yes, I do know. I moved that deck towards the building, and it pushed those braces with it. Okay, so I don't really want to do that then, because I really don't want to have to move all those back. I guess I could. If I absolutely had to, I would. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try doing it like this, right? Can I move these without it moving them? No. So what we'll do, we'll make kind of a little landing here maybe, and we could put our stairs up on both sides of it. You're right. Some of the roofs aren't. The one I was thinking of was the Sulani roofs, those straw roofs. You can see underneath, right? And they're done. But I was afraid it wouldn't work really well with this. Now, the tin roofs might. So wasn't really thinking that they could be seen, right? From underneath. If they can, I might try those out. Like I said, I'm going to see what we get with the new pack as well. But if they can, I might go ahead and just try those out and see how it works. Because I do think a tin roof there would kind of fit the vibe without too much trouble. And then if I want to, I guess I could go ahead. We can extend this down and this down like so. Okay, that'll work. We'll throw a couple of these in over here. And then we're going to need to take our modern stilt foundation back over here. Been a little wonky. You can see it's got that little kind of stutter there. Kind of a little odd. It's okay. It's working all right. Can we make the stairs wider without screwing with those things? Yes, we can. Okay. And let's grab those stairs and we will put them here. In fact, and maybe down on this side. Whoops. Like so. Okay, so we got that, and let's grab our flooring. Here we go. Like that. So all in all, not looking too bad. Now, these are looking a little interesting with the shadowing there. I guess it is picking up some sort of, I guess there's enough light to light these up, but not those. Those are far enough under that the shadow is getting them, but not that one. It's a bit odd. That's a bit odd, but it is a shadowing, I think, issue more than anything else because these should be exactly the same. And, it doesn't really matter too much. I will say that because they could be different colors, maybe they just didn't have a bunch of the same type of stuff, same struts. Maybe they replaced some at some point. We're going to grab a few more of those and we'll put one there and there. And we'll have the same setup here, 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 here. And then we will shift our windows around a little bit. Like so. Probably ought to try to put some sort of stairs on this side. Let's use this. We can use that. Yeah, that works okay. Make it a little bit quicker on myself. Now that I think about it, we can put these here and move this down like so. Grab our wood and stilts and some stairs. So not too bad. This is coming along okay. I think we're getting there. That is interesting. On this side they went dark as well, but on this side they are light. So it must have, I don't know what it has to do with, really. That's kind of weird. Let me look inside here and see. No? Shouldn't be anything on the interior. They're the same. The sun's actually coming from this direction. So these should, well, those are inside the wall, kind of. Maybe that's part of the problem. That's probably part of the problem. It's reading this one is still slightly within the wall. And it's okay, I think, because, like I said, they wouldn't necessarily have to all match. But I wonder if I move it out just a little bit, would that change that? Let's see here. We want to leave the x-axis alone and move it towards the y-axis. I'm going to try something like super, super small here. Let's try that. Okay, well that was a little bit further than I anticipated, but it did change colors. I didn't expect it to drop like that. Let's try lifting it back into place and see if that works. It did change colors though, so that was, I think, the problem. It definitely was. So the problem was it was reading as just a little bit too far into that wall. It is not a huge deal if we don't change it. The ones on the other side, I don't know, move them just a little bit further out from the building. We'll see. Now my sim is stuck down there in no man's land, so I'm going to have him teleport up here into the house. My idea is to have a bathroom here, access from the bedroom, and then a bedroom. That's kind of the idea with this house. And then out here, we're going to have like a kitchen, living, dining area. Oh, you know what? Okay, I get that. Yes, it could make them all black to match. That is a good idea. And I did not try that, but you're right. I've done that before where if you delete something and then undo it, it does fix it, the color-wise. So you're exactly right about that. I didn't think of it in this case. But yeah, you're right. There have been times when something has been off like that and I've deleted it and undone it. And it does work sometimes. And that would be easier than shifting it, with the tool mod. So maybe I'm going to have to keep that in mind with these other items. Like I said, it doesn't bother me super much because I don't really care if they all exactly match. And in fact, I feel like, so maybe a little more authentic if they don't all exactly match. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how I end up going with that. Put those there. Let's find ourselves a door that will work for the inside of this house. I use this one a lot. This has a great kind of rustic feel, and I think I'll go ahead and just use it here as well. Put that there. This is a pretty small little bedroom, but it is big enough. It's a pretty small house, really, but this is a 20 by 15 lot. So we're not going to fit a whole lot on there. I would like a pretty rustic bed, and I'll tell you one thing that I would love if it came with this pack, because it is in keeping with Asian culture and with Southeast Asian culture, is a floor mat to sleep on instead of a bed. Now, I'm sure in modern apartments, modern homes, modern facilities, yes, everything I saw in Thailand was a bed, right? A regular bed just like this. But in some of the older places, there were some really old cheap apartments, like $40 a month, $40 US, right? In some of those, they either didn't have anything in there, so you had to bring your own furniture, because the more expensive apartments actually came furnished. Or, like one lady told the guy, she's like, well, just go get yourself a floor mat and throw it on the floor and you're good to go. You don't need any other furniture, right? So I would love to see floor mats be in the game. Now, if they're not, that's not really a deal breaker for me, Like I wouldn't say, oh, this pack just isn't any good. No, I wouldn't say that. But it would be cool. It'd be some icing on that cake if there was a floor mat to sleep on. I think it'd just be really cool and really in keeping with the culture. But honestly, I've said this, and I'll say it again real quick. I do think kind of a lot of stuff is coming with this pack. I really do. Is it as big as expansion packs in the past or something? Well, probably not. If you do a piece by piece, kind of check on it. But I feel like it has some major, major changes for the game, and I for one am just thrilled. Really thrilled with it. We'll put our sink there. Let's go ahead and grab another one of these little half walls. We're going to put this right here. And then we will put our commode here. Now, one thing they did get right, and I just keep giving them the biggest kudos on this because it was so cool, is the squat toilet. Now, I know not everyone wants to even think about a squat toilet, but it definitely is part of that culture. And I just was amazed and thrilled and just good going, Sims team, that they put that in there. It's really, really cool. It's really cool. Really in keeping with that particular culture. I'm going to go ahead and put this toilet in there for now, but it's not really what I want to have in there. I do want to have a squat toilet in this particular place since I am going more traditional. And I saw squat toilets in one modern place. I saw it in a whole bunch of the older places. Still had squat toilets. And the other thing they had that I don't think you're going to see in game is some of the toilets had like a little water hose connected to the toilet, okay, that would operate as a handheld bidet, okay? So you could spray off your backside and, which is kind of environmental in some ways because it you're using less paper. And you're not throwing paper down into the maybe the sewer system or something, or your septic tank, maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to put one here. I've been putting it in some of the builds because, like I said, it's just really, really, really something in keeping with that culture. And so I started to see those so often. And I kind of looked it up, like, why is there a water hose? And now, like I said, it's normally connected to the toilet, so it's connected to the toilet's water system. I guess you could almost put this like right here, right? Let's see here, like maybe here or something. I don't know, to kind of give it the impression that it's part of the toilet, kind of. But I looked it up, yeah, and it is so much in keeping. That's just how they do it. And that was in modern apartments and modern homes. So I'm guessing one's more geared towards the actual Thai population, the actual Thai clientele. You saw a lot of these handheld hoses for a handheld bidet. See, and I agree with that too. When it comes to the new world and stuff, I've expressed a little bit of disappointment in the new world because I felt like I really wanted a really urban environment. Let's just be honest. But at the same time, I do think the world will be fine. I think it'll be well done. Like, I think it'll be pretty. It's always pretty, and I think it'll be fine. And that, to me, I wouldn't want to say. I would never say. I would never say that I wouldn't care if it didn't come with a world, because I would care, because I do want lots to build on. But the big thing for me is all rental. Rental is the big thing for me. That is where everything lives in my head right now, is the new rental system. And even places like San Myshuno, not San Myshuno, San Sequoia was another one that I just wasn't super thrilled with. I thought it was kind of bland and boring and blah, blah, blah. But I built every single lot in San Sequoia. I built the whole thing out because I still had a really great time building it. I mean, I had a lot of fun building stuff for it. It just kind of just didn't live up to my dream, I guess, right? Let's just say that, I guess. Uh, no other reason really, because again, it was a pretty world, and I do send Sims there like on dates, right? I send Sims there on dates, or I send them there I send them there to go to the movies, to the Rabbit Hole movie theater, which again, I don't really like rabbit holes, but it was fun as a storytelling device to have them go to the movies, right? So I did do that. And I put a restaurant there because I thought it was a really great view of the bridge to have from the restaurant while you're having dinner, right? My Sims really appreciated it. I'm sure they were super happy I did that. One thing I wonder if I should put this there instead of that, or one of those other kind of older scenes, like that's another one I like, or this, another one of these. I think I will go with another one of these right there. Well, you know what? Or actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this one because I want this to be a little bit older of a place, right? And I could do that. I'm going to do that one. And then we'll put another cabinet here. The stovetop is probably a little nice, right, for this type of place, but I don't want to use a full-size stove because, again, when it came to Thailand, that I didn't see not one single time so far, not one single time have I seen this, right? Like a stove and oven combo, not one time. Not one single time. Every single time I've seen a cooktop. And then if it had an oven, 9 times out of 10, it was like a toaster oven type thing, kind of like this, on the cabinet. Or in some like really nice places, like luxury places, they had a built-in oven. So, I'm going to put that oven there like that, but I'm not going to I guess I could use this one. See if I like the color better. I'm going to use that one, I think. Looks a little bit older. So I'm not going to use a regular stove there, even though I'd like to use something like that, because it's not in keeping with the realism of Thailand. And I kind of like that. It was really great to see some of those differences in culture that really set it apart, right? It doesn't have a Western skin on it, so to speak. Go with that. I love these cabinets, by the way, from Horse Ranch, you know, with the shelves like that. So awesome. These are some of my favorites now. They have a suitably rustic, you know, kind of look. He looks kind of pissed off. I wonder what he is pissed off about. If I get out there and he's like pissed off because he doesn't like that, you know, he doesn't like the decor or something, Lord, I swear. He does have a yellow plumb bob though, so maybe he's just hungry or something. Speaking of hunger, let's go ahead and give him a table to eat at. Yeah, is that what I ended up using? Was this the gas hob? Is that what you mean by that? Do like this one here? Is that gas? Is that supposed to be gas? No, it's electric. What is a hob? Maybe I misunderstand the word hob. Well, this one might be gas, maybe. Oh, or do you mean this thing? Yeah, I do kind of like that. Again, the reason why I'm not going to use this because, again, every single one I saw in Thailand was electric. That was the other thing that was odd. No gas cooktops. Now, I do think one realtor at one point or one show person or something kind of mentioned it, but there was all I ever saw was electric. The burners. Oh, the burners. Okay. Yeah, all I ever saw was electric. That was it. Just electric burners. Now, this is an older place. So I can see what you mean there, though, because an older place, they might have just had propane to use if they weren't going to use an outright fire type situation. Huh. What colors does this come in? We have a black. I'm going to do that because, you know, that is kind of a good point. The gas probably, you know, I think you're right. I think it makes more sense before, I think, because probably before they had electricity, say out in the jungle, wherever this place is in Thailand, before they would have had electricity, you probably could have gotten propane or some sort of gas. Yeah. So let's put a gas top there. We've got our cabinetry in place. Let's find him a nice dining room table here to eat at. I don't know what kind. I kind of like this, just something simple, something that's going to, again, that is something that will be swapped out once the new pack gets here, because I will take a lot of the furnishings from the new pack and use them instead of this particular stuff. Like this, and then we'll give him maybe, I'm going to move this, I think, here, and this here, just so it has a more balanced look, right? Don't really have to do that, but I do like it when it looks a little more balanced. And then let's grab ourselves a love seat. Now, I do want something, again, kind of rustic, a little old, a little retro, but retro for there, not retro for here, right? Not retro for the States or Europe. I actually really like this. I don't know if it'll fit there, but I do kind of like the fact that, you know, it's so old and beat up, right? From the Werewolves pack. And I could put it there and then move the doors all the way over, but I think that looks a little, maybe if I did it like that. I guess I could try that. Let's try that. Let's try that because I do kind of like that sofa, and I don't get a lot of opportunity to use it because I don't build a lot of kind of worn out, kind of tore up stuff, right? So I'm going to go with that. We're going to use that sofa because I do think it's super cool. I loved Werewolves. It's a great pack. And werewolves are some of my favorite kind of occult figures. I love werewolves and vampires, but I like mages too. I like like the magic side of it too. Maybe I like them all. Maybe I should. I was gonna say I just love werewolves. They're so cool and they are really cool. But I love all the other ones too. So maybe there you go. And I never used to be a big occult guy. Like with early on playing The Sims, it wasn't my favorite thing, the occults, but I do really like them now. They're so great for storytelling that I definitely got into the idea of them over the years. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Let me see here. That's the one I want to click there. but we're going to use this kind of older looking one. Let's find ourselves a light fixture here. I think I might put in an air conditioner here, but I'm not sure. For now, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as this, as what we've got here. Let's kind of make those match, and then I'm going to try using the tool mod here to take away some of that stutter. We'll see if this works. It works on a lot of things. You just make one of the items a little bit smaller than it is. And it did work. So there you go. Now you can't really tell that it's any smaller because it's just 1/100th of a percent smaller, but that's enough smaller that it won't intersect with that light fixture. So you end up being able to, oh no, it didn't work. Oh my gosh, the light just disappeared. Let me try something else. Hold on here. I'm going to make this work. It works on a lot of other stuff. It does work on a lot of other stuff. So let me try this again. Let's see here. Let's try with the light fixture this time. It may not work because they're both intersecting the ceiling. It's kind of disappointing. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry, but it is kind of disappointing. It's okay. Maybe I'll come up with something later for it. Otherwise, it looks pretty good the way the light fixture kind of intersects the ceiling fan there. I would love that trap a werewolf. I actually have some stories in my head to use werewolves coming up and this pack and this new pack. So we'll see. Oh, the wooden bitch with cushions is always good. They might not have a reliable gas supply. That's true. But I think out in the country, especially a while ago, like even here in Oklahoma, this was the case too. You just got by. There used to be very common here in Oklahoma that. Oh, that's a good idea. Play through like a career or hobby with an occult. I like that. I have used occults. In fact, I used an occult with the Dream Home Decorator career because people kept making me mad because they didn't like the design, right? So then I became a spellcaster, and then I would just set them on fire. They didn't like it, and it made me feel better, a lot more centered to set someone on fire in the game when they didn't like my design. So yeah, I did do that with that particular thing. Oh, here in Oklahoma though, back in the old days, and not even that long ago, let's say maybe 40 to 50 years ago, it still could be hard to find a gas station like way out in the country, right? So people used to run their vehicles on propane, and you would put a propane tank in your trunk. Don't do this at home. If you're thinking right now, I think propane's cheaper than gas. And Jason said that he knew people that used to run their car on those people don't exist anymore because their cars blew up. Okay. That's the point I'm going to get to. Don't run out and convert your car to propane and put a propane tank in your trunk. Because what would happen is, if you had a wreck or something like that happen, and you've probably seen some movies from the 70s and the car just crashed into a light post and it exploded and blew up. That's what happens when you put a propane tank in your trunk. Something runs into you or something happens and your car blows up. So don't do it, but it did happen. People would do it. They'd put that propane tank in that trunk. And what can I say? A lot of people would probably say I'm being kind of alarmist with that particular concern because not everybody blew up. Some people obviously did survive to tell the stories later. But one particularly tragic time that I'm thinking of is, if the propane tank blew up and there was a kid in the back seat and he died, but the parent did survive. So it's not a good idea. Please don't do it. Just my disclaimer there. Don't do it. But that used to be kind of a thing that did happen. Let's see here. Let's grab ourselves a rug. Once again, this rug get changed out later, something new. But I love these worn out rugs. These are my favorites. I love these. All kind of tore up and used up. Let's go with that. Something kind of warm, spicy looking. Well, and gas buses, like natural gas, is a lot different than propane. We have natural gas buses where I live as well. And we have, I mean, in theory, you could have a natural gas car. And there are some like pickup trucks, especially like say with the city or with the university that run on natural gas. There's almost no place to refill your tank on natural gas. But there's some. I know where one is here in town. And so, yeah, we do. I think all of our public buses might run on natural gas. And then a lot of city type vehicles that are not like cars, but like pickup trucks, stuff like that. They run on natural gas. I mean, it is better because, it's cleaner. It burns cleaner. It doesn't release as much pollution. It's still a non-renewable fuel source. We happen to have a ton of it in Oklahoma right now, but it is non-renewable, and eventually it will all be gone. So, they don't have any way of replenishing it once it's gone. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I got a sofa. I don't have a TV. I don't know if I need a TV. Should I put in a TV? Maybe not. Oh, I should put in some books, though. I should put in some books. Do. Mm-hmm. Do. With all these windows, it does make it kind of hard to find some wall space for books. Let's see what we got here. Now, a lot of times I don't use wall space for books. I just use like these, I guess maybe we could put one on the table. I don't know if the table will work with it. Let's see here. To make this more realistic, I'm going to take this chair and I'm going to put it over here, and we'll take this chair and we'll put it over here. That way, if you had guests or something over, they could pull up a chair, right? But then I can turn this table like this, move it a little bit closer to the kitchen, and then we'll put in a coffee table for the sofa. Maybe this really old one, right? This really old one. Love basement stuff too. That's like basement stuff? Is that what that was called? I think so. That was also a very cool pack. So we'll put this really old kind of coffee table here. I'm going to pull it out just a little bit. And then we can put our books on here. And let's grab a few other books. Let's see here. Some of these, some of these loose books and maybe these rabbits. He likes to read. There's no TV out here, so he needs to read for some entertainment. So we kind of got that going, right? And I'm going to go down here and grab a barbecue grill. Let's grab a barbecue grill real quick. This is the best barbecue grill in game. This is definitely roots here, right here. Oklahoma rural roots. You're going to just get a 55-gallon drum. You're going to fill it with coals. You're going to cook on it. That is your grill. Or this is today, though, like the meat grill, right? But I'm going to use this one, trash can type grill, 55-gallon drum grill. Put that there. And let's grab a couple of porch rockers. Grab these with a pillow. Probably should let's put a little table here next to the grill. That is one thing I really missed as well in the horse pack, which the Horse Ranch is a good pack. I loved it. And I loved, even like I said, I may not love the world in this pack. I think I'll like it. I may not love it. I love the world in Horse Ranch. It was so gorgeous. And the national park part of it was so wonderfully done. It was just an absolutely beautiful world. I love that place. I had so much fun building it out, and that is definitely some place that my Sims, will live over time. That looks pretty good. That's fine for outside. I could always do a bunch of landscaping out here, of course, but I do feel like we're starting to get the general idea, the general gist of what this is going to be for a traditional house. My big hope is, because this is one thing you'll find a lot, my big hope is we're going to have a bigger lot. I'm going to have at least a 20 by 30 left extra, because what you will find a lot is they'll have a little house like this, and then on the same piece of property, there might be another little house like this, another little small house. So they just kind of add little structures like that as they need them. I guess I'm assuming I can't remember the article real clear on this point, but I'm assuming for, family members, stuff like that, right? So as you just needed an extra building for your kids, you just built another building on and kind of, they would live there. So that's really cool. And I would really like to do that if we have large enough lots. The only lot that I know we have so far is I know we have a 20 by 15 lot I think it was kind of close to where the market was. It was in the trailer with the pink Barbie house on it, right? Barbie's Thai dream house was on it. That's 20 by 15. And then the primary build in the trailer, the apartment build where all the action was focused, that is a 20 by 30. How do I know? Well, I just counted. You count the squares, count the windows, count the doors, count all that sort of stuff. And since all the lots they're always the same size, right? They're always a certain amount. So if you get kind of well, I'm counting, there's 19 there, I think. Well, it must be 20, right? If it's 19 across, it must be 20. And if it's, 30, 20, if you're thinking, wow, it looks like it's 27 long. Well, no, it's 30 long because those are the lots we have in game. And that's what I usually do with trailers and stuff, to try to guess what size lots I'm going to be dealing with. Does it always work? Nope. It doesn't always work. And sometimes the lots aren't oriented the way I thought they were oriented. And that's led to some major problems before. And in fact, Del Sol, that was a big problem with Del Sol. I thought one lot in particular was turned widthwise, right? Like a let's call it a 30 by 40. I thought it was this way, and it was this way. So when I go to place the build, of course, it won't fit, and it looks weird turned the other way, right? So I had to go through and kind of do a little rebuild on that, which was fine. It was not the end of the world. I did survive it. I got over the disappointment. But that is kind of a thing where it can be a little hard sometimes when you're guessing what you're dealing with. But I like to get building early like a lot of people do. It is a lot of fun for me to build. And building really inspires and kind of sometimes dictates where I want to go storytelling wise. Let's rotate this by 45 degrees. I bet that's going to need a negative 45 degrees because I'm on the opposite end of the building. Let's see here. Nope, I was wrong. Okay, so let's try this here. Rotate. Do it 90 degrees and see if that gives us what we need. Yeah. Rotate 45 degrees. Okay, so those are coming along well. I'm going to try that trick. Let's see if I delete it and bring it back. Will it work? It did not in that particular case. Delete, and then will it work? I wonder if it was already lifted into place and all, if that would work, though. It might. And you can see here, it's almost working. I'm going to just pull it forward just a little bit. There we go. That's good. Now, these look a little bit darker, but I think I'm going to leave them a little bit darker. And I wonder, maybe if I just put a light in here, would that have helped? Because I think it probably would have. Whoops. Because these already look a little bit lighter, and I didn't do anything to them except put a light in that room. So, I think that's a really great idea to put some planters in. I'd like to do actually some real gardens, I'd like to do some real vegetable gardens. Again, one of the tough things, of course, about when a pack is new and we don't know anything about it is I don't know what kind of harvestables might come with it. We don't necessarily get those with every pack, but this seems like the sort of pack where we maybe could, get some new harvestables. I don't know, like maybe Chinese broccoli. It's what we call it here in the United States. Chinese broccoli. I don't know what they call it in Asia. I don't even know if it's from Asia. We call things stuff here in the United States, all sorts of things, and it has no basis in reality. But maybe something like that, broccolicini, maybe that's what it's called, something like that. Oh, an old radio is a good idea. And tanks, speaking of tanks, I should put something here to act as a cistern. Either up on the roof or down here on the ground somewhere. I'm going to grab something real quick. I don't know if I'll be able to. I think it's in debug, though. I'll have to search for it. It's actually, I'll show you real quick. It's actually one of these things, right? Something like that or that or that to use as a cistern over here. So that does kind of jar my memory there. Brick barbecue grills are a little bit common here for people with nicer homes, right? Or at least they used to be in the old days. So if you had a really nice home, you would have like this big built-in brick barbecue, in your backyard. Nowadays, if you have a nicer place, you're going to just have a whole outdoor kitchen out there. But yeah, I've seen those and I love that. Like I love a built-in brick barbecue grill. I think there's just a certain sort of retro elegance to it that I think is very, very cool. So I wish we had those in game. I think that'd be awesome to have that. You know what? I'm going to bet, doesn't the pack come with a solar water tank for the roof? That I don't know, but again, I would love it if it did. That's kind of what I mean by cistern, is a big tank on the roof to hold water. So my big hope will be that it does. And I do think, yes, if we have an apartment building and we put gardens there, I think especially if you have Sims who like gardening, or if you start a gardening club, maybe centered in the building, or is there a NAP? Like one of the neighborhood action plans for gardening. I think there is one where you raise your own food and stuff, right? If you activate that for your neighborhood, I bet they'll garden. I bet they'll go out there and garden all the time. In fact, so that'd be really cool. I love for my Sims to be self-sufficient and kind of raise their own food. It takes a lot of work. I mean, it takes almost more work than in real life to do that in The Sims. But it's a lot of fun and it kind of gives you something to do. And it's a challenge, right? It's kind of a challenge to do that. Let me take a look here, see where my axis is. There we go. I used to like to garden a little bit. I've never done really big gardens in my life, but there was an apartment I lived in once, and we had a patio. I had like a little patio outside. And there was like green, well, like dirt borders around the patio where you could plant stuff if you wanted to. And I did raise like tomatoes and peppers and stuff like that out there. And I really liked it because it wasn't too big, it wasn't too much to take care of. And it was kind of cool to watch it growing. It's really pretty. And then it did produce, tomatoes and peppers and stuff. In fact, the jalapenos were hot. They were super hot. You go here and let's go ahead and rotate 45 degrees like so. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Make it here. It's scoring simoleons. Do. The discovery quests are, that's a discovery quest down there. They're okay. I think they're better at the start of the game as a sort of tutorial. They do make a really good tutorial, like if you don't really know how to play the game and stuff. I haven't done much with them yet. Here comes another one. Thank you. I'm good. I think there's a way to turn them off too. I do think so, and I haven't looked really for it. I guess it's not annoying me that much yet that I'm going to bother with it. Let's see here. Can I find a cistern? I know a couple of them I got out of the horse ranch pack. Let's look here and see. Do we have... No. So let's try... I guess we can go ahead and go this route. And let's just finish it off. Let's do the live edit objects as well. Okay. And then we'll put in debug here. And let's see if maybe those items... Ah, there we go. There's one of them. That's a little big, but I can make it smaller. So, whoops, I was going to make it smaller. There we go. That can make it smaller. And then we could put it either here on the roof. Just not too unusual to see it on the roof of a building. Like so. Now, the cowboy thing is a little odd, but it'll work for now. I'm going to leave it up there. Is that right by the bathroom as well? No. Let's put it over here by the bathroom. I guess it is a little bit by the kitchen. I'm going to put it over here by the bathroom. Especially if we're going to pretend like it's a solar water type of tank. And then when we get the pack, if there is a solar water tank, I can just swap those out. And where would you want hot water? In your bath? In your bath, right? For your shower, of course. I'm going to move that just ever so slightly like that. Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah, you can turn them off under options. I've just been, like I said, it must not be bothering me that much because it has not overcome my laziness gene to actually do stuff to go in and figure it out, right? That's how you can tell if something really bothers me, because if there's a way to turn it off, if it really bothers me, I would have done it. If it's just the sort of thing where I'm like, oh, it's you again. With like that chick. You remember the chick that had the seeds? I can't remember her name anymore. She had the seeds. She did a couple of quest things for a while. And right now you got that other chick that always wants to babysit your kids even when you don't have any kids. She contacts you to let you know. That's the other one, I think this looks pretty good for now. I mean, it's kind of gotten there. It's kind of gotten to where I wanted it to be. Got our struts in place. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm going to pull. God, I might have to go through an old save even. I'm going to try to find the one place that I did this before, this type of roof. And see if there is something there that kind of, triggers my memory into thinking, oh, hey, this is what I did, and this is why I like it better, type of thing. And maybe I'll just go through and I'll just go through and try to simplify it like I did just then, moving a little bit of it. Because I think I can do that, right? And that makes it a little bit simpler. We really don't need that one piece right there. Do. So that's two pieces of roof I was able to get rid of. Cost saving measure there, right? Okay, so not too bad for I don't know what I'm going to do with underneath it as far as landscaping goes. I mean, the obvious thing is to build like a pond or something under there, but I don't necessarily want to. I mean, it's really traditional to have this place up on stilts, not really because it's out over the water, but because of monsoon season. And so when the floods come through, you want your house lifted up so you don't lose so much stuff. Things don't get ruined as much. And typically you'd have stuff maybe stored under here. Although I still don't know what they do with that stuff when monsoon season does come, because it's going to get all wet and maybe swept away by the flood, but maybe they move it up here or something. I don't know. We could put in some landscaping. I've been a little nervous about landscaping because, again, I just figure we're going to get all this new stuff with the new pack that's going to more adequately fit the area. But I have put in some landscaping in a few areas, like in that lot next to this one. These, sort of versatile leaves and flowers. I mean, that always kind of works, right? That's always a good thing kind of throw out there, throw a little greenery into it. Some grass, a little overgrown grass there. Do. Kind of go in and shade it all a little bit, maybe. See, I don't even want to use those trees. I really do think probably get new palm trees and stuff. I guess I could use this one. That one, maybe. Do. It's maybe not too bad. I kind of like that. I kind of like that tree there. So let's do that. Okay, so we got a little bit of landscaping there, kind of give us an idea of where we're headed with that. Although a lot of it probably will get swapped out And that's the street scene next door. The street scene next door is actually getting pretty close to a point of where I'm going to just stop on it until the pack gets here. When the pack gets here, then I will go through and adjust things, add things, change things around. But in general, it's pretty much done. I might add a few more power lines. One thing I felt like was missing from the trailer was, if you've looked up any pictures, say, of Thailand and Bangkok, is there are like literally masses of like power lines and I guess maybe cable and phone and I don't know what all, just everywhere, right? Just strung everywhere, running from building to building to building to building. And so that's one thing I felt like was missing in the trailer. I've kind of figured that out later, that it's like, it's missing some of that character, right? Some of that charm of the place. I did put them in here, of course, to some extent, but it's kind of a tedious process using the tool mod, and to some extent, you don't have to use the tool mod. I was able to do some of them without the tool mod, but it still was taking a really long time. I was like, okay, I'm going to call quits on it for now, and then maybe come back later and do it. Oh, yes. Okay, I get that. Being on stilts means air can circulate underneath and up through the floor. Yeah, that would make perfect sense too, especially with the humidity and stuff. I could see where that would help prevent the growth of mold underneath, fungus, stuff like that. So yeah, that's excellent. That makes perfect. Oh, and Jasmine Holiday. Yes, thank you. That was her name. Now, I liked her. Okay, she's okay. But yes, that was her name. I wonder whatever happened to her. Wonder why they stopped using her. I didn't think she was that bad, The lot next door has how many apartments? It has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 10 apartments. It has 2 hotel rooms. And then it has the Birdman of Bangkok's little kind of structure up here on the roof. So all told, 13 places, you could live. The hotel rooms are really small. They really are just a hotel room. I mean, that's it. So without those, you have about 11 places you could live. With cheats, mind you. Without cheats, you could designate 6 of them as homes. I believe the unit here at the top of the hotel is the largest apartment unit. Larger than the rest of these, yeah. These are all pretty small. The modern one has 2, what I consider full-size units, are like 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath, all separated type units, and then 3 1-bedroom units, which are closer to what we'd call studios here in the United States. But again, all told, there with the more modern one, you got 5 units. 5 units. I really didn't think that all 5 would be usable. I thought at the end of the day, it would be something like at most 4 would be usable, because 4 was the maximum number we had in San Myshuno for an apartment building. And I thought, well, that's probably the maximum we're going to get. I think 6 apartments without cheats is actually a really good number. That's a really good number of apartments. And having a cheat where you can just put as many as you want in there, that's fantastic. That's awesome. That was like the best news ever. This is the best news that day. And what can I say? You got to be careful with your processing power on your PC. Because I'm going to put 100 apartments on a 20 by 15 lot, cram it full of hundreds of Sims. I'm probably going to crash. I'm probably going to see my computer crash and burn, but it'll be fun while it lasted, right? Often here too, a studio is just one room. So it's one open room, except for the bathroom is, separated off. Now, in Bangkok, I was really surprised. I'm going to switch over to one of these other lots and I'll show you. We'll just switch over to the street scene lot here. In Bangkok, they don't really do it that way. It's the same amount of space as like a studio in the United States, or maybe even less. So it might be like 300 square feet, 350 square feet was what it was. They were always quoting things, of course, metric. So they're always quoting things in meters, square meters. But often that's what it worked out to with these sort of studio sized places. Was around 300 to 350 square feet, 400 maximum sort of square feet. And that was pretty sizable for what I was seeing. This takes a little while to load. So we'll give it a second here to kind of catch up. Here we go. Now, where is... So let's look at a modern apartment here, because these are like rehabbed apartments. They've been redeveloped. So what you typically would have is, this would be a hallway here. So you'd enter from a hallway like a modern apartment building. And you'd have a living room here with essentially a glass wall that could be slid out of the way, sometimes almost entirely out of the way. But that's the only way you had a view or any light from the outside, was from this window here coming through this window here. And that's the way their studios were set up. The other way it was set up would be a slightly different configuration from this, but you would come in, you'd have this very long, narrow kitchen, dining, living area with a bathroom next to it and a bedroom next to that. And the bedroom would be a separate little room off of that living area. And oftentimes the bedroom looked to be bigger than the kitchen, dining, living room area. The living room often only had enough room for a love seat. So this would be the living room here. Just this space right here would be the living room. And then, and not that wide. So we'd have to move this here like this. And then, a door right there. That's your living room. That's how narrow it was and how tight it was. Now, what can I say? It did seem fine. And I think it's a lot like New York. It would be a great place to live and sleep. The kitchen was usually really small, much smaller than what you see here, in fact. But like they said, the kitchen was mostly used just to heat up food that you brought home from a restaurant. So most people living in Bangkok didn't do much cooking. They just would eat out. And I did some nods to that because, we've got a restaurant over here. We've got kind of a sidewalk thing I'm setting up and another sidewalk thing over here that I'm setting up. So you can bring food home. This is the larger apartment. Again, it's going to be something that's been redecorated a little bit, kind of brought into the modern era for one of my Sims in the game. You got a living room, kitchen, bathroom area. And then here in the rooftop bump outs, you got a bedroom, right? And then here's my Birdman of Bangkok. I love this guy. I did create a sim to live here with his cat, with kind of a backstory. I love this place, just perched up on the roof. He raises chickens that he sells to the restaurants downstairs, and the eggs that he sells downstairs and uses for himself. So I totally loved him. And then we've got this apartment, which this also was very, very common. This is more like a studio here in the States. It was mostly in like older apartments I saw where you had one big room. This was literally the kitchen, no sink, place to eat, place for the bed. And then your bathroom was always outside. So you'd have to go outside on the balcony, and then you go into your bathroom, always a squat toilet, or almost always, not always, almost always. And that will have a squat toilet before I upload it to the gallery. And then you had a little place to do laundry, like a little sink out here. That, again, that's your only sink. I put a wash tub out here as well. Most of these apartments did not have a washing machine. The newer apartments, the nicer places, even the ones that were inexpensive, typically did have a washing machine, no dryer. No dryers at all. Pretty much everyone just hang dries. And that is the street scene there of Bangkok. I do like this street scene. I've got a lot of, sort of a story percolating in my head for this eventually. And a lot of it will take place here. Kind of a nightclub, And then with this modern place next door, I still want to put some more work into this modern place. I do pretty much like it. I call it Falling Water, of course, because of the waterfall there. But I would like to do an even more modern, really high tech skyscraper looking type of place. That is on my agenda next. Now that I've kind of done this traditional Thai house, I really want to do something that's going to be, again, I don't know the size of lots we have. I mean, I want something that's going to be really big and have a big pool and a big plaza and modern everything, super sleek, super high tech, super almost sci-fi looking, because Bangkok definitely has that element to its housing, and actually at a really good price as far as an American dollar goes. The apartments there might be like $500 or $600 a month, and I was just blown away. I was like, wow, that's a pretty nice place for that sort of income. And I thought I did go here from the world map. Did I not? Let's try this again. It was beautiful. Just so gorgeous. And these rooftop pools and gyms and saunas and lobbies, just fantastic looking. Oh, I see. He's not at home. Really? Let's just go this route. I think, yes, vending machines are good. I did add some vending machines, actually, in the hotel lobby. I didn't look at that just a little bit ago, but there are vending machines in the hotel lobby. And I think I might have put one here in the grocery store so far, maybe. And I might have put one in the apartment building lobby. So I know for sure I put two of them here on this first floor in the hotel lobby. I did do that. I think they're pretty big studios. Is each tile supposed to be a meter square? See, I always think of each tile as a foot square, or maybe 2 feet square. Maybe it was 2 feet square is how I used to figure it up. And so that's less than a meter, of course. I think a meter's gonna be 3 feet by 3 feet, maybe, or something. I don't know. But the studios, a lot of times too, how I judge the size of the studio is how much space does the bed take up? How much space does a love seat take up? Then that gives you an idea of how big the space is. I do think that it will be updated. I do. I think it'll be updated to, I guess it wouldn't have to be. Do we have rental lots right now as an option in the gallery? Let me see here. Oh, well, I'm not connected. I'm not going to connect right now. I don't want to throw off my YouTube feed. But I can't remember if we have rental lots right now. No. Okay, no. Even apartments have to be uploaded. Well, apartments don't have to. Well, they are uploaded as a room, but you can upload a whole apartment, not just room to room to room. But yes, they have to be uploaded as rooms. You're right. And so It was confirmed on forum years ago. Was it that like rentals would be what was confirmed? I missed that. What was confirmed years ago? You have to clue me on that one. But I don't know. I don't know that there'll be a separate thing for rental lots and rental units. Part of that's because you wouldn't necessarily have to use a build specifically on a rental lot, even if it was built for a rental lot. Just like if you download an apartment room or an apartment, you don't have to use it as an apartment. You can just drop it on a lot and maybe outfit it as a house, by putting some exterior walls and a roof on it. So maybe they won't have a rental option. Maybe they won't think there's any need for that. Don't know. This is my apartment here in the modern setup. Again, quite a bit roomier. This is pretty roomy. And especially for an apartment in a major city like Bangkok, I think this is a pretty good size. You've got a nice entryway, you've got a powder bath, kitchen, dining, living, and then upstairs, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 more bathrooms. And then I did kind of just a little, this could be another bedroom, like another kid's bedroom, but I kind of set it up as just kind of a little family area. Someplace, for the family to hang out, kind of like a family room. And again, you saw, this is actually pretty big for the stuff I was seeing in Thailand. You might take this out and move that wall in one, and that would be the family room with just a sofa, right? Over here is kind of another apartment a lot like that. We've got kind of an open family area, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and then down here, pretty large living area, kitchen, dining area. Maybe I think I was going to put like an office here or here. I was kind of playing around right here, with a sort of overhanging section of the build where you could look down and see grass and stuff down below. I haven't finished that yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I've done that before in Newcrest, and I decided, hey, let's do that here. But I don't know. Haven't decided really. This is a lot smaller than the space I did in Newcrest, and it feels almost too small for this particular idea. So we'll see. I do like the kitchen here, though. I like the kitchen here. And then over here we have the 3 1-bedroom or studios. Again, these are pretty good size. This is what I was talking about, though, about the layout where you come in, you have a long, narrow room, right? This is actually pretty good size because normally this would probably be like right here, and at most, if you had that, it would be there, and then that would all scoot up, right? It'd all be kind of squished together. So it's a pretty good size apartment as well. For Thailand or for New York. If this was the studio in New York, this would be really nice. And then we have a bedroom over here. Good sized bedroom again. The bedrooms in these sort of units, though, did seem pretty big to me for the unit as a whole. It seemed like a really big room. And then a little bathroom here. I tried to do kind of a walk-in shower kind of setup. I did a different version of this, more like over on the street scene where you come in and use this window to get light from these windows, right, into the living room. And one thing I'd seen was a space where the kitchen looked into the bathroom to look through a window, right, to the outside to let light pass all the way through. So I kind of replicated that here. It was a little odd, but I still went ahead and I thought that's kind of quirky. It's kind of fun. And then this is my apartment. Now, this is an American style. This is the one I designed for me. This is the American style studio. So you come in, you've got an open kitchen, open living, open bedroom concept. Put a double-sided fireplace is what that's supposed to represent for the living room and the bedroom. Bedroom's actually, again, pretty big. Got a nice little bathroom over here. And I have a dryer. Again, because I'm American, I put a dryer in my unit. I have to pretend like I had to import that, I guess, from someplace else. I put a dishwasher in my unit, and I put a combo stove oven in my unit. Now, honestly, I don't actually dry all of my clothes. I actually hang dry a lot of my clothes myself. I dry things like towels, sheets, stuff like that. But most of my clothes I wear, I hang dry. So I wouldn't necessarily have to have a dryer. It'd be okay. But that was my unit. That's my unit there in the modern building. I conveniently gave myself a little outdoor rooftop patio there. I sit and watch the waterfall and get some cool breezes. I got a lot left to do here. I really need to landscape this area. I would say put some stuff out here on the balconies, stuff like that. You know, big bedrooms might be shared by more people. You could do that because you could do a roommate situation where you want to put in like twin beds, or I guess you can share a bed as a roommate. I know a lot of Westerners don't do that. It's not a common idea. I don't know in Asia if I don't know how comfortable they'd be with that or not. It does not bother me. I can sleep in a bed with anybody. You know, we're just sleeping. We're not doing anything else. But there are a lot of people that, you know, might have a problem with sleeping with their roommate in a bed like that, who's just a roommate, right? Just someone you're sharing a flat with. But that would be true, definitely. I do like the idea of communal laundry, and I actually saw that's one of the few places I'm almost positive they must have been dryers because you don't usually see stacked washing machines, but maybe they were stacked washing machines. But the one place I thought might be dryers was a communal laundry in one of the nicer apartment buildings. They had a big communal laundry in case you didn't have your own laundry. You could have your own laundry in the apartment, but if you didn't, that building had a communal laundry, and it was the only place that looked like they had washing machine with a dryer stacked on top. So I don't know if that was intended for a Western market. Maybe that wasn't real clear from the video anyway. Or if those were all washers, right? I guess you could stack washers like that. It's just something I haven't ever seen. And washers often shake so much. I think that's why you don't typically stack a washer, say, on top of the dryer with stackables. You put it on the bottom. And they're heavy. It's the other reason. Don't know. But that is where we stand right now. Like I said, I think I'm going to have to put in got a little work left to do here. And I need to put in an ultra-modern apartment building. I might put it over here, maybe. I think that's a 30 by 40 lot. I might just risk it. I might throw caution to the wind. Take this lot, turn it into an ultra-modern, super luxury apartment building. Try to do something like a tower, you know, that looks like it has parking underneath. Then with the 4 apartments on top, maybe 8, 2 on each level. I don't know. I'm going to use these, by the way, though. These are apartments as well. They've never been used as apartments, but they are supposed to be 4 separate units. Tiny homes built out of shipping containers in keeping with the eco living pack we got. They have a communal garden here, of course. And they also have, you know, hang laundry, stuff like that. So that will be converted to an apartment. That's just the house, though. That's just the house over there. And let's see here. Have I made any multi-units for other world styles? I have, like I said, this one I built for eco living. Now, I haven't made any new ones. So all the ones I do have, I'll show you a few examples. All the ones I have, I've built just before this point, just thinking, well, this is the sort of place that should have an apartment building. Here's one right here. This is this is an apartment building too. In Del Sol, I felt like we needed apartments, right? Because Los Angeles has a lot of apartments. And so I thought, well, I'll build some apartments here and I'll just play around with it and do the best I can with Sims living there. By, you know, locking the door. Don't only this Sims allowed through this door, only this Sims allowed through this door type of stuff. It worked okay. We'll pull that up here. I really do like this particular tower. This is what I call the Del Amo Oaks. So play off Del Amo Shopping Mall and Sherman Oaks Shopping Mall in Los Angeles, or in the Valley in Los Angeles. See if I can make it a little bit brighter here. This is the only time we got two lots side by side, right? So I thought, well, let's make this a sort of Galleria style development. So we have a shopping mall over here. There's a parking garage between the two structures, and then an apartment tower attached to the parking garage. And I put the parking garage for the apartment tower inside the foundation. So this stuff, right? These cars, all of that parking garage is inside this foundation. And I just used like that transparent foundation and tried to build in like these little pieces of wall and just keep that part of the foundation. It was tough. It was tough. I did a video on the time how to do it. This is an actual parking garage on this side. That's just a regular structure, right? Here you can get a different view of it. So there it is. That's all inside the foundation. But a lot of apartment buildings are built on top of the parking garage. So I thought, well, we don't really need that part. If I could figure out some way to put a parking garage inside the foundation, just so it looks realistic, that would be kind of cool. And then I could have a taller apartment tower of 6 stories tall instead of 4. So that's what I did with this particular tower. So yes, this is apartments. This is a pretty good example of, let me go down here and see if there's one with, you can see these different options, right? On this floor, we've got a bedroom and bath here, bedroom and bath over here, kitchen, living, dining area. I think I primarily was using this particular apartment. Again, living, dining, kitchen, bathroom, laundry. This is a bedroom, but I was using it as a dance studio. This is a bedroom. This is a bedroom, plenty of baths. So yeah, that's an apartment complex that will be retrofitted. Across the street is what I call, I don't know how well we can see it from here. A little bit. This is Delrose Place. I ended up reskinning it a little bit with the Moroccan pack to give it kind of a Morocco feel. Now the unit we just saw has 4 apartment units in it. Delrose Place has, I believe, 8 units in it. We'll take a look here. You know, we could have done an underground, yes, style parking garage, definitely, because we have basement room. I really wanted the tower to stick up higher above the shopping mall. And I didn't want just a blank front foundation, right? I didn't want to have just a wall with the apartments on top of it. I wanted to look like, you know, like it would really look in real life. And so that's how that ended up with a parking garage under it. So this is Delrose Place with a Moroccan skin from the Moroccan pack. I love the Morocco pack. So cool. Loved it. We have, yeah, I think 8 apartments. This one here is pretty much furnished. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms again, and kitchen, living, dining, a bar, kind of a bar, walk-in bar in your house, and a big pool kind of area, you know, here, which I thought was really pretty. I really, really like the Morocco pack. It's so gorgeous. It really is just really, really beautiful. And so, yeah, it's one of my favorites. You know, it's got a beautiful, beautiful look to it. So colorful. So those will have to be retrofitted. I've got other ones. Where are some of the other ones? I had a bunch of them pulled up recently. Well, San Myshuno, of course, has this here, this apartment complex. Where else did I do? This was originally done as an apartment complex, but I changed it to a department store. But this over here has like, oh, I don't know. Let's look. It has a bunch of apartments, more than six. So much like Delrose Place, it would have to be with cheats, right? Do. And I'm trying to think of where else did I put those. Oasis has some. Newcrest has some as well, several in fact. This is not entirely finished. I've never uploaded this to the gallery yet. I did use it for RM Cascadian Growing Together kind of serial I was doing, and I finished the parts I absolutely had to have, right, for the story. The first floor is all retail, lobby, coffee shop, stuff like that. Here on the second floor, it's where you start to have apartments, and we have like, three apartments like this. So you have living room, kitchen, dining area, bedroom, 2 baths, kind of a long, narrow sort of space. It comes in different configurations. This is the configuration I really like. So you come in, you have the living room, a dining area, a closed off kitchen because it's supposed to be kind of a retro apartment. This is an old apartment building. Then the bathroom, then a single bedroom. So these were just 1-bedroom units, but then someone came in and turned it into a 2-bedroom, right, to maximize the rental possibilities. And then over here, we have a flat, 3-bedroom flat, and then there's 2 2-story townhouse style, apartments. So total about 6 apartments in there. Newcrest got a lot of apartments. San Sequoia. That's another one. San Sequoia, in fact, has some of my favorites now that I think about it. There's some in Komorebi as well. But I built this apartment complex over here, which is sort of a townhome apartment complex development. And then I built this here is a single family home currently, but when I built it so I could someday divide it into apartments if I wanted to. And then this is not apartments, but it will work with the apartment pack. So I did it as I don't even know what you'd call it. It's what did they used to call them? I think they used to call them California style apartments is what I think. That's what I based it on. So like 100 years ago, they would build apartments in Los Angeles, and they were essentially, though, like little individual homes, right? And so at most, you might have a duplex where 2 of the homes shared a wall, but they were a bunch of individual homes around a common sort of courtyard or green space area. And then all the parking would be maybe like back here in the back. I didn't put parking in for these units, but there'd be parking here in the back or maybe along the sides. But then you would walk out here and you had this very kind of communal space. They all had like front porches so you could talk to your neighbors, kind of wave to your neighbors. So this is a modern take on that for Sequoia, where you have pretty typical single family homes, but in a very tight community space. And my favorite versions of these version of this is the 1-bedroom. So it's very compact, cottagey looking place. You know, you got this great little front porch, got a nice area here, living room, dining, kitchen, laundry, of course, because it's America, you're going to need a laundry room, and then a nice bedroom up here at the top with a bathroom, right? And I just thought they were really cute, these sort of little cottage looks to it. So now these will actually work. These will actually work. And instead of it being an apartment, each of these will just be an individual family. Again, there is something like 7 of these here. So I could either just do 6 of them and leave 1 empty, or which could, that would work. I could convert one of them to a clubhouse, like this one here maybe. I could convert that to a clubhouse for the neighborhood, or a communal kitchen for the neighborhood. Something where people would come together, and kind of have a party and stuff like that. So I could do that then with 6 units. Anyway, that's give one household 2 homes. That also works, if you wanted someplace for grandma to live in your family, like grandmother could live here in the 1 bedroom and your family could live here in the 3 bedroom, right? Right across from each other. That'd be a great use of that, or this 1 bedroom in this family house or something, so that, and I did the 1 bedroom specifically. I was thinking of young people moving out, right? Just need a 1 bedroom, young couples, young people, maybe just with a toddler or a little kid. And then senior citizens who really also just need a 1 bedroom, maybe a living room with a pull-out couch or something if the grandkids come to visit. But if you're a family and you live here and your grandparents live over here, you don't have to spend the night. You can just go over and hang out with them all evening and then walk home. So a gym would be really great to put in there. I think that'd be a great space, and I especially like the idea of indoor games, or you could put something like knitting in there, right? Something where you could maybe have a knitters club in there, and where maybe some older people are teaching the younger kids how to knit, or something like that. Needlepoint. We've got a lot of stuff really in game to do that could go into a house like that and make it into a community center. And in fact, the more I'm talking about it, the more I really love that idea to go in and turn this unit, since it's right in the middle, turn it into a community center that opens out, to the courtyard here for everyone to use around it. I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. I like row houses a lot. I really haven't done a true trailer park yet. I have done a trailer. I've done a trailer, but not a true trailer park. I loved doing this. This was one of the best times I had building in a while. Again, I didn't, San Sequoia to me was just kind of like a suburban town. There wasn't anything too out of the ordinary about it, or sort of stunning. But I did love building in it, and it was a lot of fun to build just nice, quiet, middle-class family places, just places where just like normal people are going to live. They're going to go to work every day. They're going to come home. They're going to take care of their kids. And then in this situation, of course, whole families could live close to each other, or you could have more of a communal feel. And that's about, I think most of these, Evergreen Harbor has some multifamily housing. Maybe not Tartosa, I think, does. Chestnut Ridge doesn't. And Newcrest does. All of this is multifamily housing in Newcrest. All of it is converted, browns or brick buildings, brick warehouses. All of that's multifamily housing. This is multifamily housing over here. This is multifamily housing over here. This is a hotel, so that could be easily converted into multifamily housing. So Newcrest, to me, yeah, it has a lot of apartments. And most of this stuff has been built for a long time, especially these. I built these back when we first got Newcrest. I built all these different apartments and townhouses. Some of them are townhouses. Never been able to use them, but the day is coming. The day is coming where we can put all of this stuff to use. Like I said on Twitter at one point, I'm like, I'm going to be so busy just retrofitting builds, right? Builds that have been around forever that, I'm going to be using the pack for that and be busy just for a month at least. Places like this, I think this has 8 or 12 apartments in it over here. A lot. So that is it. That is where it comes. Multi-units will be great for smaller worlds. Multi-units are going to be great for I love multi-units for storytelling. I definitely think this pack is going to have a big impact, just not for builders, but for storytellers who want to, get into these sort of stories of a different sort of living arrangement than just a single family home or apartments in Myshuno, right? I think it's going to have a big impact on generational players because you definitely could have the situation where you start off with a family on a lot. And then maybe every time you have a next generation, right? They don't move. They just stay there. Everybody from the generation stays there and you have to just keep adding on apartments or adding on. And in fact, adding on apartments with a cheat would be a pretty good challenge to see how many will fit. How big of a generation are you going to have on a 64 by 64 lot? So I think generational players are really going to get a kick out of it. And then just challenges in general. I made kind of a joke about the 20 by 15 lot with 100 apartments and 800 Sims, but not really. I mean, I definitely can see a challenge like that where how many apartments can you fit on a lot and have it still function where it still works? I think it'll be easier than people think because I think it's going to work like apartments in San Myshuno, where really just your active apartment is taking up computer resources. The other apartments aren't. I think they're going to work exactly like San Myshuno, in fact. But even in San Myshuno, people come out of the apartments. They come into the hallways and the common areas. So it'd be interesting if you have 100 apartments and even just 100 Sims living on that lot, how many would try to come out at one time? And maybe with the cheat, you can put more apartments, but maybe with the programming, it will only really deal with 6 at a time, right? So it could be that where it's going to deal with 6 maybe random apartments at a time. Well, the active apartment and 5 other random apartments. So you're just going to get that many Sims. Like you're only going to just get so many Sims in the lobby at a time, right? No matter how many Sims technically live on the lot, if the lobby only holds 10, there's only going to be 10 in there. So that's probably the way it's going to be. Oh, play all roommates. I like that. Yeah, I did increase it with MC Command Center. I think right now my maximum, and I could probably go higher. I haven't tried it, and part of why I haven't tried it is because I do so much video recording, and so my video recorder, or if I'm streaming, that's already taking up resources, and especially recording takes up a lot of video resources. So if I'm doing that, I don't want the Sims competing too much, and because then the Sims will lag. So I have it set for 40 Sims per lot through MC Command Center. I've thought about pushing it, but so far I haven't tried it. I should push it. I should try it. I might try it with these rental lots and see what happens. I have something like unlimited Sims in the worlds. I think I have like 450 Sims right now in my typical game save. So yeah, and 40 of them is 10% of that. Now I might have come up with the number from that. I don't know. Yeah, double the defaults. I mean, my computer is really pretty strong. It is. It's new. It's really new. It has new components, new hardware, so it can handle quite a bit. But like I said, when you get into like video recording while you're streaming, while you're playing this game. Because all of this, while I'm doing this, all of this is recording, not just through YouTube. YouTube saves a copy, but my hard drive also saves a copy of everything. So you've got all those resources being used, and it can real quick, get laggy, right? Okay, that's it for tonight. I got to go. I got to get downstairs and check on my son and check on dinner and stuff like that. Please hit like, subscribe, and notify. Thank you so much for being here. It's been really great. I've had a lot of fun with these builds for this new pack. I love Thailand so far. I want to visit there so much. Just researching it has made me want to visit Thailand so much now. It really looks like a really cool country. And most of the people on there that are Westerners are talking about it. They talk about everyone there is really friendly. They really love being there. So I don't know. They've really kind of sold me on it. They've influenced me on it, right? But I love these builds. I want to do some more street scenes. I want to do some super high-tech builds coming up. Might start that tomorrow, in fact. Tomorrow's Sunday. I don't normally get to stream on Saturday. I got off early from work so I could do this stream. But tomorrow for Sunday, I might start with that super high-tech build to see what we can come up with. And in the meantime, please hit like, subscribe, and notify. And as always, I always say, thanks for watching.